Do you know what this verse means? Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell on the ground and worshipped. Now, I think the story of Job is one I feel is very popular in the Christian sphere. However, I think for the most part, people who aren't practicing Christians, the story of Job is more of an unknown, at least in the comparison to like the story of David or the story of Moses. So, who was Job? Well, Job was a man from the land of Uz, who is pretty much detached from the overall biblical narrative, other than the fact that he was good friends with one of Esau's sons, Esau being the brother of Jacob, who may sound a little bit more familiar. So one day Satan enters the heavenly course, and after some discourse, God allows him to test Job by killing his livestock, children, and basically stripping him of every earthly possession he had, all in the effort to get Job to curse God. So what the heck does this have to do with verse 20 specifically? Well, verse 20 is Job's initial response to him losing everything. And to make matters worse, these things weren't taken away gradually, but in rapid succession, with one servant appearing before him, and before he could stop speaking, the next would approach him, saying, "Hey, you lost some more stuff," or "Hey, another one of your kids died." And I think the response most of us would have in this situation is not the one Job does. I think we would very easily be angry. Be grieved, and honestly, I think for most of us, we would curse God. But you see, Job doesn't. What Job does is he tears his robe in anguish, he shaves his head, and then he kneels down to worship God. Man, what would it look like if we had a faith like Job? See, Job's story is one filled with tragedy, and I think many of us question why God lets certain things happen to us. But if the story tells us anything, it's that we can trust God to use a situation for good because He has a plan. And that sometimes the best answer to our questions of why God is, "God, I trust you." If you have a verse or passage that you want me to break down, please let me know in the comment section below. But until then, love God, love people, and stay blessed, my friends.